You've heard of the pure mind being able, from social media, from a book, one post, preacher, someone who is told to you, but whether those things are real. Awakening is not a state, transcendence that you will achieve when you have enough, smart enough to be enlightened or hard enough. It is also not a path to escape from all suffering and find peace, forever bottle. In fact, love is not the same as what you know. It's not your job. Suddenly become perfect, achieve all, both what we want or live in endless happiness. On the contrary, is the challenge everything you ever believed. Believe that identity beliefs are even the dreams that once defined my children, friends will all be broken and misunderstood. The first awakening is the final destination. Have you ever thought that awakening is the goal? To a place where all the difficulties, hurt, suffering and insecurity will disappear to make way for happiness and perfection, forever reality. Then on the contrary, love is not. Stop. That is the door you gradually come to. The journey is longer than each level of awareness. All come with new challenges. Thought you understood everything you would, realizing that there are deeper things that need to be explored. If you consider static as the peak of a mountain, you will be easily disappointed when you realize that there is still many other peaks need to be conquered. This may not surprise you, but it is this continuation that is at the core of the developing the second misunderstanding of love, synonymous with eternal happiness. This thought is often defended by romantic image of a peaceful life, a soul that is no longer insecure but awake. The province does not bring endless happiness. On the contrary, it increases cognitive abilities about the pain and the flatness in yourself. You can't hide from them as before, but have to face it directly. Happiness and awakening doesn't come from the elimination of suffering, that comes from learning how to accept it as a part of life. This is not a state of escape, but is the harmony between good things and even unpleasant. Third, misunderstandings. Only special people awaken. Awakening is often seen as a journey dedicated to the intellectual or the superhuman ability of truth to be immortal. Can anyone awaken here? Must be the privilege but the potential of everyone. You don't need to be a complete or superior person. Others to awaken the condition of, especially the willingness to face oneself. I am proud to encroach on the table. The part that hid the awakening must be a title or a measure of price. It is a personal journey and cannot be compared and misunderstood. Compassion helps to overcome all problems. Many people believe that awakening will solve all problems in life, but in fact it does not make it difficult to disappear. Towels that change the way you see and face them. Life is always, there are challenges that always exist. Introspection and insecurity are the differences. An awakened person no longer avoids problem. They realize that the difficulties is an opportunity to understand more deeply about their bodies. No longer see them as obstacles is the motivation for the growth of. In short, awakening does not bring perfection, also does not promise a state. Liberation is a continuous journey, so that you learn to be true to yourself. It teaches you to integrate both light and shadow. Learn to accept pain and change. It becomes power if agreeing views. Sharing of radical heart. Please leave a comment if you feel good, surprised because of these facts. Wait, you will still learn a lot of knowledge to apply more practically in these. Sequel to this video, shadows in the journey of awakening. As you have no one thinking about the journey of awakening has, you can imagine the bright light of enlightenment, of a miraculous liberation from all the bonds, where you are fully embraced in eternal state of peace. But the thing, what is hidden behind that light, is not a fairy tale that everyone expects. It is also not salvation, but stripping it all up for you to really look at, know yourself and be there. The journey. True love begins the inner darkness, mind and shadow work concept. Shadow work with darkness by psychologist Jung. Famous introduction as a way to approach and work with the bad part in themselves. In general, everyone all have a part of darkness and emotions, thoughts, memories, or behaviors that we deliberately concealing or refusing to admit. Darkness is not an evil thing, but simply what we don't want. Seeing it can be anger and jealousy, fear or pain that has not yet been healed. By suppressing them, I don't make them disappear, but just causing them to operate subconsciously, influencing emotional decisions and how we live. Shadow work requires you must be brave to look directly at the parts. This is not to be eliminated, to understand that they are a part of natural in your integrity. When You face and merge with the darkness. You release life energy that has been consumed, caused to conceal or suppress. It's the dark night of the dark K of the mind. Soul. From the perspective of the Buddhist monastery, Tai is known as the dark night of the mind. Was no stranger to the Buddha. Before attaining to enlightenment had to face the stage of the same period of extreme suffering. It does not have the appearance of peace, but the zero-tolerance war with the falling fear and deep ambitions. Closed in that moment, all illusions about the meaning of life all disappeared, leaving an empty space. Empty and vague, but also potential. Enlightenment. Before sitting under the peony tree, the Buddha went through the trials finally created by the demon king, i.e., the illusions of fear and the charming call of desires. Worldly. But instead of avoiding him, choosing to face this is not just a trial, psychological challenge, but also a symbol for the dark night of the mind. At the time when everything is intended, the meaning we once held suddenly collapsed, and we must stand in front of the abyss of I myself have no one to accompany me in the journey. This process of three main feelings usually comes out. Now the loss you realize is that all what you once thought you respected, assets or even relationships, are not enough to fill the look spread inside them, just like pieces. Temporary pairing never completes the picture, painting about the true meaning of life. Lonely like Buddha you will feel. Find yourself left alone in the shadows, darkness of the mind that no one can walk into this land on behalf of you and herself. This application forces you to face the deepest of his own ambiguity. Each goal, plan and belief of each is a compass that seems to lose value. You start to wonder if all these "what did I ever pursue" mean no. What is life really? These sentences. Asking such a question is not a sign of failures that prove that you is getting closer to the same truth as the Buddha has been absent for many years. This ambiguity is an opportunity for you to unravel layers of illusion, let go of, believe carefully, and see reality in a way naked through the experience of the Buddha. We know that the darkness of the mind, not the end but a steps to rebirth. When you let go any attachment, abandons the need for control, and learn to face the supreme, you will realize new values and ideas, deeper meaning that was previously covered, filled by ambitions and fear. Is in Buddhism in this period is not allowed to be viewed as a meaningless crisis, but a shift. The main essential chemistry when you touch the of pain so that you can open your heart, embracing true insight and freedom. The Buddha has passed and you too. It's just a matter of whether you're willing to sit down under his own linden tree opposite with darkness and let the inner light lead the road, or not. To summarize the darkness in the journey of awakening is not a person, enemies, but the teacher he brings you across with hidden corners of the parts that you once refused to acknowledge, and in that darkness you can find the light. Really, light does not come from perfection, from acceptance and integration with every aspect of yourself. You are called awakening when you live in the present. Lives consciously in the present is one of the core skills too. You reconnect with yourself and so on. However, in the rhythm of modern life is full of troubles for many of us are often caught up in the flow of these, thinking about the past or anxiety about the future. Do you ever realize you're went down to eat but didn't feel it, taste or join a conversation, but the mind is washing in a place other? This happens not because of them we don't want to be present, but because of the mind. Humans inherently act as a stream. The river is constantly flowing. The consciousness is the ability to bring your consciousness back into the present and get away from unnecessary concerns. To really live in the moment is happening in a situation that is not a state of unfamiliarity, that is an inherent ability of people. That's how you perceive. Full, without judgment, no attempt change or control anything. Interestingly, you have already experienced. It's the moment you are completely affected by. Immerse yourself in a beautiful sunset, favorite singing or tender feeling, holding the hand of a loved one. But the problem is, those moments are often fleeting. To maintain consciousness you need to be aware of practicing and forging based on this does not require ask for a big change or a perfect field. On the contrary, it starts from the smallest things in life. A way to practice mindfulness every day is mindfulness meditation philosophy with sharing. details about this technique in the previous video. A simple focusing technique but strong. You don't have to sit on one yoga mat or stay in a room. Quiet to start. Just sit comfortably. Closes your eyes and pays attention to your breath. Feel the flow of air enter and leave the body when your mind don't try to stop or judgment is simply aware and light. Gently bring attention back to the breath of the card. If practiced regularly every days not only help you focus more but also increase emotional control and reduce stress. Next to your meditation, mindfulness can be applied to activities. Daily activities such as eating instead of eating, drink in a hurry, stop and feel, taste, color, texture of each dish. This not only helps you connect with body but also make the meal become a more memorable experience than one way. The other method is to scan the body, that is, to bring the pay attention to each part one by one from the beginning to the feet to feel the sensations that do not attempt to change anything. This process helps you realize the latent stress and release them. However, living consciously is not the right time. Is easy, especially when you have to. Dealing with unpleasant emotions or complex situations sometimes appear at exposing the pain you used to have. Try to dodge, but it is in that moment you have the opportunity to understand and heal yourself. Must be running away from reality, but learn to accept it with all what it brings, including the pain. Pain is not the enemy, it is the person. He reminds you to look deeper into the main. The important thing is that you don't must be perfect to live awakely. Is not a destination that you must be achieved, but the journey you choose. Choose every day. There are days you will find it easier, but there are also the day your mind will be filled with trouble. Many of those things are completely normal. The key is that you recognize and gently put himself returns to the present without judge or blame yourself. Remember, mindfulness is the ability to be in harmony with the whole light and darkness in you. Living in the present does not mean you only enjoy the positives that still have to face the following aspects. Not perfect. When you learn to accept, both of you will become more inclusive, no longer bound by goals, unrealistic standards. This brings give you true freedom. In Thailand, Binan does not depend on the outside world. You don't have to do anything too big to live the love. You just need to be present. Pay attention to the sounds around, feel your own breath, and cherish every moment. Smallest. When you choose to present yourself, will realize that the present is more than just where you live, is where you really belong. About that presence is a great gift, the best you can give to yourself and for those around. The role of relationships. Relationships are more than just interactions, a mere society, but a mirror. Project yourself in the clearest way. The awakening journey will teach you this. Any emotions, reactions, and conflicts you experiencing with others is actually a word invitation to better understand yourself. What you love, regards, or hate others all stem from the deep parts of the soul that you need to identify. Other people who are not is the problem. They are the mirror to help you. Seeing hidden corners you often avoid. You ever felt hurt, pity by an unintentional word of a person, or find yourself frustrated with anyone, even though they didn't do anything excessively realistic? These feelings are often incomplete, comes from their actions but from the wound in you has not healed. A criticism that can hurt you. Deep love is not because it is right or wrong, because it touches the fear of the side in fear that you are not good enough, recognized, or undeserved. Here is the projection phenomenon that K. Jung has, referring to the emotional characteristics that we deny ourselves, that we are often released. Shine on others. When you see selfish arrogance or weakness in someone, ask yourself how this is reflecting what in me. Are not easy. Relationships are the most important lessons. People who make you angry or lose are those who see the unconscious, help you recognize the parts you need, get noticed instead of criticizing. The last name you have may wonder why they are reacting is so strong that I am reflecting what's inside me through this emotion. Relationships are not only dark. People who love you unconditionally is a testament to the light in friends when they trust, support, and tolerate. They are reflecting good qualities, beautiful, that you sometimes forget you look at. In them you will see compassion, patience, and the potential for love. In myself, of course not. Everyone will accompany you on this journey when you change a number of relationships that can become strained or even broken. This isn't failure, it is simply you and they are traveling on different paths. Loneliness may appear, but here is also an opportunity for you to learn how to appreciate self-esteem and real relationships. relationships. Conformity. This change does not require you have to give up people who don't agree, but learning to accept that everything people who have their own journey to maintain balance. It's important to communicate honestly and empathetically instead of try to convince others to understand you. Share your experience with. Be humble and listen at the same time. Do not judge, because this helps you to connect more deeply with them. To practice the heart. Tolerance is also a way to liberate from unrealistic expectations. No one is perfect, and imperfection itself help you realize imperfections in oneself. Remember, in every light relationship, and the darkness is always like a river. How you learn to love the imperfect part of its own background. The foundation of true enlightenment is humble, yield and serve. When it comes to onions awakening, many people think right away to enlightenment as a superstate. Vietnam is separated from good needs, connecting the battle. But the truth is that the more going deeper into this journey, you will be more and more realize the value of connecting and serving. The awakening is not to lift you up over others, but for you to become part of the meaning of the whole, and in that humility doesn't make you small. Open the door for you to see the breadth, the real big of the world, and the role of in which the story of the Buddha is the most vivid proof that he did not put enlightenment by complete separation from the world that is in the heart of the world. He found the meaning of compassion and the case of seeing the pain of humanity. The Buddha did not choose the path of peace to lead the body back to the light. The light of enlightenment comes to all that, not to give up but to reach the height of humility. Understands that enlightenment really not to own but to share. Humility is not condescending self-worth or denying what you have attained. The realization that the real value lies in your contribution, and immerse yourself in the flow of the middle stream of the in life. Sometimes we easily fall into the trap, the sophistication of the ego and the achievements, spirituality or deep understanding, into tools for us to feel ourselves superior to others, but fall. Even though I put on the shell of enlightenment, just another form of radiance. Forcing humility helps you overcome that trap to see that the awakening is not, it has to be about you, but about how you connect with the world around you. Serving is the way. Practicing humility in a true way, most real when you serve with the heart open. Don't expect a response. You will realize that you don't just help others but also heal themselves. Service doesn't have to be that great, must be expressive actions, statues for others to admire, but little things made from the fruit. The sincere heart of a farmer. Sprouts in the field do not need to be known by anyone, but the ripe and yellow rice grains of he feeds an entire village of service does not require recognition for the sake of the happiness of the community is the reward. The largest in the world needs no extra people trying to prove themselves. I am great in the world needs people who are ready, willing to listen to empathy and action from compassion. So are you ready to step out of the comfort zone to make a difference? Although small but full of meaning, remember that sometimes a small action from you can light up the life of another person, and in that connection you will find the light, the true light of oneself awakened. To have it is really necessary to be spiritually awake is often considered the pinnacle of the human life, but is it really necessary for everyone, or here just one of many other ways of living that people can choose to? For many people, life is not full. It is necessary to go through the inner darkness or complex spiritual journeys. A simple person who is satisfied with his family, work stoppages and small joys every day. Is there anything lacking compared to people seeking awakening of the philosophy of affirmation? Reality is not the most important. It's not whether you are pure or not, but is whether you live true to your true nature. The imposition that all must awakening can become a pressure. It is not necessary to reduce the value of other itineraries. One finds happiness in taking care of the family. Do what you love and live in harmony, suitable for everyone who has reached the balance with that life. There is no need to dig deep into spirituality to have a true meaning with themselves and are satisfied with the present couple, when it is enough to create a worthwhile life. If only no one was like anyone else, and the journey of life of everyone has colors, especially for some people who wake up. It is the word irresistible invitation to people different from living in peace with what you have has been the peak of the happiness of the minister. Respect for differences. Everyone needs to be awake, and that is not must be a measure of human value. In short, the journey of love is the destination, but the discovery of void stop on itself. It doesn't bring a perfect state or erase everything difficulties. Instead, Awaken and teach the. Accept that life is a delivery. Enjoy the complexity of light and darkness, coexistence and complementing each other's consciousness. Love doesn't require you to be special or outstanding. Is the journey back to the real person facing the pain of the flats that you used to cover. Hide, and from there find the freedom of what you need, not to be perfection but to present true life in each. The moment of awakening, after all, is not about escaping the world, but learning to immerse yourself in it. Accept reality with mindful eyes and an open heart. Life becomes meaning. Meaning it's not because you reach some sublime state, because you have dared to live fully with self-acceptance, every aspect, and love yourself. Keep in mind that this itinerary does not have the end point, and that's the beauty of it. Every day you wake up to that light. Opportunities to flare up, even if only in the weirdest things, are when you be present in love and live true to themselves, and that is what makes this life is worth living. If you learn what's from this video, like, subscribe channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos of Trit Dam. Don't forget to share videos with people. Dear sir, wishing you a lot of strength, healthy,